What is going on, everybody? We are back at it again like we have never left before. I am Kwaman Star G. We are your keys to the MulDiverse. And once again, one more again, we have an amazing, spectacular, show-stopping, never the same, completely brand new for you guys, live stream, MulDiversity stream for you. We got some amazing guests tonight, so we are going to go ahead and throw it right to the ladies and let them introduce themselves first.
What's up, everybody? I'm Avia, and tonight we have some very special guests for you. It's going to be a great show, so stay tuned.
Hey, everybody. I'm Key. I'm excited for tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy this show.
Oh, you already know what it is. It's Aaron V. Michael. I am so excited for tonight. I'm geeking out.
As he said, I'm geeking out over here too. Like I'm holding my chest, and I'm like, okay, let's get this going, and let's give it to the main woman of man.
Hey, everybody. This is going to be a full night, a packed night, and we've got some great guests up to talk to you. So let's get at it. Our first, are we ready to we're ready to just go in? Our what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought you was like, anyway, our first guest, this duo has created the comic Nubia, Real One, that is anticipated. It's going to be released to the public next week on February 23rd. But we have LL McKinney and Robin Smith here to talk to you tonight and to talk to us about the comic. This fabulous comic. We have so many questions, but first, how are you, ladies? How are you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Yep, same. Good. Excited to talk.
Yeah, always excited to talk about Nubia. Always.
So, I want to kick it off with the question of, if we were talking before, we kind of went live about what got you started on the comic, and I was wondering if you can kind of let our audience know a little bit about that. How did you get to this comic, and then we'll launch into what's in it. So how did you get Nubia?
Yeah, well, I have always been a Nubia fan. I've been hollering about Nubia for years. My very first time I saw Nubia, I was a wee little thing at a library, and they had one of those silver racks that has like the paperback books and the comic books all in them that spins. And I saw this black woman chained to Wonder Woman, and they is going at it. I'm like, who is she? Like fighting Wonder Woman, looking like she about to win. What? I need to know who she is. And so that was my first introduction. That was decades ago. And so I came at Nubia from a position of a fan, first and foremost. I had written books, the Nightmareverse series, which is about a black girl who has powers and goes to Wonderland and goes on adventures, because I am always an advocate for, black people being able to do everything in books that everybody else gets to do, because we have books that deal with racism and, Black Lives Matter and stuff, and those are important. But there's this, I call it like an obsession with the commodification of Black pain. And it's not just publishing, it's entertainment all over that's the story that they love to push. It's the one that they put all the marketing behind. It's the one that, that people like to see over and over again outside of the community, with no regard to what it's like being in the community, having to deal with that over and over and over again. Right. So that's where I came from. And I'm talking with kids while I'm talking about my fantasy books, right? And these kids were just, saying things that we all like, comic books and video games and all this stuff. And one of the kids said something along the lines of, you have these heroes out here who can turn back time and plug up volcanoes. Batman stopping purse snatchers, but nobody seems to even acknowledge what's happening to Black people. No one talks about it. No one's impacted about it. These heroes seemingly just do not care. And it took me a bit. I was like, you are absolutely right. So when I was on Twitter one day, just being a fan, I tweeted out that I want to write Young Justice. And someone from DC who I guess had read the Nightmareverse saw it and was like, "Bet, why don't you contact us and we'll walk you through pitching?" Okay. So I pitched Young Justice, and in the back of my mind, I have those kids who were talking about how none of their heroes seem to know what they're going through. So in my Young Justice pitch, Nubia was there. I thought I was gonna be slick and sneak her in, like she gonna end up on somebody's page somewhere as a side character, and I would move her gradually to the forefront. But in the pitch for Young Justice, I had the heroes dealing with stuff. Nubia and Rocket end up in a situation where the rest of the team has to confront the issue of racism. And Superboy and Wonder Girl and Robin, they were at a protest. That was the pitch. You know, there was other stuff happening, of course, superhero things happening, but this was part of the story because I wanted those kids to have where their heroes noticed them, you know. So the team was like, this is great. Can you give us Nubia by herself? Like, we would really want to focus on Nubia. And I'm immediately like, say less. Because like I said, I've been hollering about Nubia for years. So it was really this perfect storm of, I didn't know I would ever get to write heroes again. I'm going to use this one shot that I know that I actually have to give those kids that reflection. And it blossomed. We brought Robin on, who just was a blessing to this book. Like it would not be what it is without her. So I'm gonna let her talk about the art, because all I'm gonna do is sit over here and fangirl about it. Like, she's been listening to me fangirl on all these interviews. Because I love it. I love the characters. I love how I didn't describe any of these people, y'all. There was not a description on any, it was just vibes and moods and how they talk to each other. And she pulled that out. Okay, let me shut up. Okay.
So Robin, how did you come to this project?
Well, I love hearing you fangirl. I mean, it makes me feel great knowing that at least the person who wrote the book likes the art. That's all that really matters to me. So I actually was invited to send in samples by the editor, Sarah Miller. I saw that she had followed me on Instagram and Twitter, and I saw the like DC Entertainment in the bio, and I was like, no way. Okay, sure. But I started like posting some really good stuff because I was like, oh, now someone's paying attention to me. So I actually then got an email that was like, oh yeah, well, like, I love your stuff. We'd love for you to like try out for this comic. I had heard about Nubia before, but I wasn't too familiar. I really love superhero comics, but again, like, Nubia has only ever rarely popped up. And I sent in my drawings again, like Elle was saying. I mean, I could tell that there were descriptions in the voices of the characters, and that's what I used to create each of them. That, and like, I always use like all my friends and family as references, and I incorporate pieces of them into the character design. So that's kind of how it came to be and how I came to be the artist for Nubia.
Okay. I'm gonna pop it on over to the rest of the group. Y'all had the chance to take everything in. Anybody have any questions? Let's go to Mike.
I have
a question on this. Oh, well, Keith, go ahead.
I have a question. I have a question for Robin. Who's your favorite comic book artist? Like, who's your favorite go-to?
In the indie comic circuit, one of my favorite cartoonists is Eleanor Davis. She does like a lot of like more political work, and I don't know, there's something about her style and like the looseness of it that I really like. I guess I have like 3 categories of my favorite like cartoonists. When it comes to like more mainstream comics, Harry Lucy is my favorite. Harry Lucy's like Archie comics are again one of my biggest influences. And finally, in terms of superhero comics, Olivier Coipel is my favorite. I really love the way that he draws Thor. Like his Thor comics were my favorite. So yeah.
Awesome. Key? Mike? Question? Oh,
Okay.
Key. You're pointing the opposite direction.
This is my question for both of you guys. Is there like anything you have yet to, either write about or, illustrate that you would love to, like, it could be anything, like any superhero or just any kind of idea in your head that you have yet to put
So is this if I could write any property in the world, if they call Sailor Moon?
Hey.
Fine, Al,
Surprise anybody.
I'm so glad I was on mute because the way I just screamed just now.
Sailor Moon. Like, of course, I have like my favorite superhero is Spider-Man, which you can see the influence of that and the whole thing with the it's almost become cliche, right? The Uncle Ben thing, with great power comes great responsibility. And Nubia deals with, but a responsibility to who? A responsibility for what?
Mhm.
So we kind of look in that. But if I could say, please, oh my God, Sailor Moon would be if the sky was to open and anything, it would be Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Manifesting it right here.
Yes.
Yes, most certainly.
And Robin, what if you any property, any idea?
Any idea? I'd probably revisit the very first comic I ever did, which sounds like that could have been ages ago, but the truth is it was maybe about like 9 years ago when I was still in college. That's actually one of the very first times I attempted my own comic, and it was a League of Superheroes based around Caribbean history. Because I'm from Jamaica, so so basically I took like different like national heroes from each Caribbean island, and their descendants were the heroes. So that like one of our national heroes in Jamaica is Nanny of the Maroons, and there was legends that she used to catch bullets. So I was like, oh well, that's so easy. Obviously, like a comic about her descendant would be super relevant and interesting. I've abandoned that, but I would one day love to revisit it when I have the time.
Okay,
so I need a Kickstarter link. I'm just saying.
Happened? Catching bullets in Caribbean hero, like
wow.
I'm serious. Y'all can make some magic with this. I promise.
Yes, trust me.
That throws my original question out the window. So this is for both of you. Would you be down for a Caribbean Sailor Moon? Would you be down to do something like that?
I am all for mashing up everything. Anyone can be a sailor, said she. You can have it. We all under the same planets and stars. It could be a thing.
I'm down. I'm down for that.
Love it. I love the fact that she said Sailor Moon
right now.
Listen, I had OCs back in the day when people was doing fan fiction and RP on like the Yahoo chat room. I had many a Sailor Moon original character, so it could be a thing.
Yes,
I'd love to see it because you guys just captured that very realistic tone with this, clashing with this really colorful vibe. Like I think that's the thing I love about the book. It's just. You guys did the thing. I don't want to give spoilers, but they did the thing. They did the thing. You need to buy this ASAP.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask about you did do an amazing and astonishing job, and this is a YA graphic novel. So there are some very strong topics and strong things, and I know Elle, you touched on why the kids want it, and I have older kids and they certainly understand it. But did either of you ever think that maybe there's going to be some backlash, or like this is going to be the last thing they're going to have us do together, or was there any kind of reservation when you were working?
Not really. I knew that there would be backlash because the fact that I wake up every morning bothers people. So I'm just saying, it's the thing. People just be mad that I open my eyes, and it's okay.
I was not expecting you to say that just now.
They do. There are people out there who are just
wrong.
literally mad that Black folk exist, especially in these spaces, especially if it's going to be like Black women in particular, and you're highlighting that, So and I knew that people would take the story because they've done it before, where I talk about the fact that one of my lines in the sand was, "You're going to give me a Black woman artist." Like that's, or so you can find somebody else to do the book. And people now they have stuff to say like, "Oh, you're racist. You only want to work with Black people." And it's like, it's so much deeper than that. Like just the fact that we have had to deal with how whitewashed Storm is multiple times over just in the past decade or so. Like there's a care to the things that happen in the book that people who are from the community that's impacted by, like there's a care that's just going to be taken there. It is. And people don't like hearing that, but it's the truth. Plus you also like, I wanted to, it not only is it that, but there's, lifting while you climb. Like if I'm given this opportunity, I want to give it to somebody else who I know traditionally this industry doesn't look out for. So there's a whole bunch that goes into it, but somebody's just going to be like, "Oh, you racist." I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. Meanwhile, on planet Earth, so it's just, so I knew there would be backlash, and I know that there are some people who, because I myself am one of the people who I'm like, I want stories of Black people falling in love and going on adventures and going into space and going, just being able to do what everybody else gets to do.
Thank you.
And I knew that there would be people who wouldn't have, like the bandwidth, for lack of a better term, for another story like this. And I'm always, whenever I say things like, we need to, for publishing and comics and entertainment, to focus on all Black stories instead of just this one slice of what it's like, But I'm always going to point at the people who are the ones who are like promoting a particular type of story instead of all the stories. For every book about issues, there need to be 3 that are not, like, if you're going to recommend, like, The Hate You Give is one that a lot of people know, please recommend 3 stories about Black kids that are just out here being Black kids along with that, just to take care of the Black kids who you're going to be teaching that to or whatever. But it was very much a, I knew that would, I know that it wouldn't be necessarily be pushed back, but people would be tired, because I'm also tired. But again, there was this very specific thing, like I talked about, like if it wasn't Nubia, it wouldn't have happened. It was literally a perfect storm of all these things. But I was also raised on Nuck If You Buck, so.
Hallelujah.
The end.
Say so.
Well, Robin.
I think one of the things I was probably scared of the most when taking the job was how much I don't draw traditional superhero comics. My illustrations don't look like it. It's just the way that I draw isn't what you usually see when you pick up a DC comic. And I was very worried about die-hard DC fanboys basically ripping me apart because it's all cute. I don't know. I like cute things. The aesthetic that I draw basically to please myself, because if I take the time to care about what everyone else is thinking about what I'm doing, then I'll never get anything done. So I think, again, which is why, Elle, I don't mind hearing you sing me praises ever. It's because, sometimes especially hearing it from other Black women, it's a really big boost to me. I don't know. It's still something I'm worried about because the book technically isn't out yet. I'm still worried about what it is that people have to say about the art style. When it comes down to the politics, I don't really care what anyone else like has to say about, unless they have some sort of constructive criticism that I'm like, that's an interesting take. Like, it means nothing to me. It means a lot to my family. They read all the mean comments. My brother is always threatening to fight people, and I'm like, it's okay. Especially because I used him as the main model throughout the book. So
listen,
he's worried. He's a bit worried.
I can tell you the artwork is amazing. I love the way I was especially looking at the hair. Some reason, when I've been kind of looking at, when I go to comics and I see the black girl, I have to look at her hair because it's been so wrong for so long.
Yeah.
And I love the way you had her hair just kind of free and doing its thing, and then and even the different styles. I mean, not all the boys had the flat top and with little squiggles on the side of the head. Like they do black boys. Not all the girls had the cornrows going to the back. I really love the variety, and the style seemed like kind of 90s maybe. I got a little bit of that 90s style. I loved it. I loved that it was not the typical comic. It didn't feel like a superhero comic to me until she started, throwing people and kind of throwing down with folks. It felt like a novel, and I appreciated that. So
I'm really glad, because that was actually part of the reason I chose to draw the way that I did. Was literally to make the shapes almost as simple as possible to understand the action as well as possible. I feel like a lot of people who were not included in comics before will see this comic and want to pick it up. And I'm very mindful of new comics readers when I'm making my own comics, even more so with something as big as like Nubia for DC. I was very, like, my mom picked up a comic book for the first time. I've been making comics for a while. I mean, my mom's read some of them, but she, like, seeing her pick up Nubia and like she can very clearly understand like the direction of the story, and like okay, now she's like picking up this ATM, like I wanted it to be as clear as possible, because that's something I kind of struggle with reading superhero comics. I have to like constantly go back, and it could just be me, but it being my experience, I wanted it to be a sort of more effortless read.
It's not just you, no. Because I know the experience of, okay, wait a minute, when did this happen? When did this happen? Okay, let's go back 2 pages. And going back to what Elle said about after your whole about the themes that you put in there, and just how you wanted to make them just as true, and I can see both of your personalities in this whole book. I wanted to ask just one more question before I kind of go back to the group again. I know I'm monopolizing this time. I'm so sorry, guys. I want to know, so right now the talk is in like social justice circles is like using stories to push push the mark, to go beyond just this talk of diversity and inclusion, and to actually make it happen. And there's this talk of us telling our stories to make that happen. You guys are doing this though with a YA audience. How do you see this story kind of inspiring or empowering or pushing younger audiences to kind of do more, or to even aspire for more than what the world tells them they can?
I think seeing Nubia's her mom's, the way that they encourage her, like there's a thing that happens where people will like, that's my dad now from like a game or something like that, or that's my, like, it just from my gaming back, like one of my most recent obsessions, even though I was a little bit late to it, was Persona 5. And it's like, I will defend this coffee house with my life and this man. So you kind of the characters become your family somewhat. And when you see those parental figures give this kid that you've attached yourself to permission to be themselves, it's almost like giving you permission. At least that's how I interpreted stories a lot when I was a kid. And the shame is that you never, I mean, for me, I never really had anybody telling anybody who resembled my background or my family, any of that, you know? So I think that's a big thing is stories can give you permission that the world itself might not, especially if you are in situations where, you know, the people around you don't necessarily have your best interests in heart, which is a shame, but it's a true thing that happens. So stories can do more than provide empathy or windows or sliding glass doors or anything. They can honestly give you that pep talk that you need when there's no one else there. They can whisper to you when you go to bed at night. They can be there when you wake up in the morning, and they're never going to change, and they're never going to change their minds about you or anything like that. They're not going to turn their back on you if you make a mistake. No, Nubia's moms will still be there to tell you it's okay, baby, it's fine. You'll be like, in these walls, you are safe. So that's really important.
Yep, you just got to wake up, get up, and get out there. I 100% agree, Al. We got a video we would like to show you two. It's Nubia centric, and I think you guys will enjoy it greatly. So we're gonna toss it over to it right about now.
In 1973, the world was introduced to the Amazon Nubia.
Makita, serene, majestic, beautiful Queen of Sheba. Yes, so great was the beauty of this magnificent black woman, it has become legendary.
Sculpted by Hippolyta of Themyscira, she was the twin sister of Diana, who would later become Wonder Woman. Nubia was taken by Ares, the god of war, hoping to raise her as a tool of destruction. After an assault on Themyscira, Nubia battles her sister before realizing the truth and turning on her captor. In 1999, she was retooled as the original Wonder Woman who was tasked to guard the pathway to the underworld before falling in love with the god of light. She went on adventures defeating gods and monsters.
Provide him with suitable weapons. Weapons of divine temper. A helmet, a sword, a shield. Have them with all speed.
While she shares the power set of Diana, such as super strength, flight, or speed, she has the gift of cold sight, which can turn any living organism to stone, which was gifted to her by the Gorgons. She wields a sword crafted by Ares and has 3,000 years worth of combat experience. Nubia has the credit of being DC Comics' first black female superhero and a staple in Wonder Woman lore. As always, I'm Aaron Michael on MulDiversity, and this is 28 Days of Super Blackness.
Man, that was awesome.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you, ladies, for coming on. I wish we had a longer session for you guys to be on, but you'll have to come back.
Please come back, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we love you.
Yes.
And I just
Oh, go ahead.
and I just want to say I just love that Nubia is a coming of age story and not
Yes.
just rendered to other comics, because as a young black girl, this is something I would have loved to read. I would have just
Same here.
devoured it.
Yeah.
That's
And-
why I was when I
and-
saw it.
And it was just incredible. Like I felt it, like you said, how certain superheroes just they don't care about those type of social issues, and Nubia was just like right in the middle of it, because during this whole Black Lives Matter marches through last year, the people on the front lines were the young people, and it just it just was something very personal. And so I just really appreciate you writing this story, Elle, for so much, and Robin for illustrating it, giving us young people a voice. I just want to say thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Want more Robin comics? Watch Day
I
is
do.
something that I saw. Please watch that. And then she has a Kickstarter. Go find it on her Twitter. Support the Kickstarter, please. Listen,
Yes.
I want Angry as Lonely as Black Girl. Please, I'm a fan. I told you the last time. You can't get rid of me now. I'm doing you for the rest of us.
Love it.
You're gonna have to deal with it. I'm here.
This comment said that she was incredible. I wanted her to see that before she left. That Robin's style is incredible. So just know that people love your art. So
Thank you.
We're going to have fans whether you want them or not.
Right.
Sorry. Yes.
Right.
Thank you both.
Thank you so much, ladies.
God bless you guys.
Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Yes.
Okay.
She don't want to leave us.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
That's how great we are. People want to
Yeah.
stay.
So we kind of ran into our second segment a little bit. That was the incredible duo of L.L. McKinney and Robin Smith. Nubia goes on sale. Nubia, the real one, goes on sale February 23rd. That's next Tuesday. Y'all can pre-order today. I suggest you do pre-order because once people see this
Right
thing,
now.
it's going to go run out.
Right now.
This is an amazing story.
Right now.
And we wanted to get into so much, but it would be spoiler.
Yeah.
So you know what? I hope they come back afterwards.
Please.
Yes. Absolutely.
So we're moving on to our next creator, another Black woman creator. Right now, we're in the middle of the Slam Dance Film Festival, which is a film festival that usually goes on in conjunction with Sundance. Well, not in conjunction. It goes on at the same time, which really, really cute, actually. Sundance takes place like the half of Main Street in Park City, Utah. And then like at the top of the hill, at the very tip top is this theater that has all the Slam Dance films. And, people, they offer press people like me. Last year, I just offered a press credential and walked up there and found this amazing little place where independent filmmakers bring all their stuff and some amazing films. So I signed up again this year, and one of the first films that I found was called $16,000 by Simone Baptiste. And so we invited Simone to come and talk about her reparations comedy.
Hey.
Simone. How are
I wanted
you?
to say thanks for having me, but also, Joe, thanks for describing what Park City, Utah looks like, because I didn't get to go, obviously. So literally, like, my Slam Dance debut is online, which is all in good, but I love the visuals that you're giving me because it made me feel like I was there, so it's kind of fun.
Well, everybody tries to explain, oh, it's just right beside, Sundance. It's right beside. I'm like, it's not beside. It's up the hill from it, like at the top. And I took a taxi up. I'm not even gonna lie. These hips would not go up that. That's how steep the climb is, and it's really cute, little theater. So yeah, hopefully you get a chance to go there. But
yeah, it'll have to be another year, another film, but I'm still, thankful to be in this year and be amongst a lot of great filmmakers and get to show 16,000 to a new audience. So it's been really exciting, even from my living room. So, good enough.
I want to start off by just letting you describe what made you, first of all, what made you want to do a reparations comedy? This is the funniest film. Like, I was laughing hysterically. But then I took so many notes because so many of the themes you went over were so important. So what made you just launch into that?
Yeah, so in the spring of 2019, myself, Brody Reed, and Ellington Wells got together in a coffee shop, and we had been friends for a while. We're all part of the LA comedy scene. I'm a booker, they're comedians, and I just wanted to get us together to make something. And we maybe sat in a cafe for 3 hours before we came upon reparations. But once we did come upon that subject, it was infectious, because we were right in the middle of the 2020 Democratic primary ramping up, and everyone had a line about reparations, but they weren't including the Black community in their conversations about it. And so, of course, for many Black people, the idea of reparations is something that we talk about around the dinner table. It's just a part of our culture, talking about what is owed to our community because of the crime committed against our community, and the crimes after slavery even as well, when you talk about Jim Crow and redlining. And so we really approached the subject. You know, we wanted to research. We wanted to do like heavy research into it. When we were researching, we found that 70% of white people don't believe reparations should happen. And so from that baseline, you know, our goal here was to disarm people, and comedy seems to be a great vehicle for doing that. And so, of course, in the film, we tackle plenty of subjects that come up frequently about reparations, including like who gets the check, you know, what is the amount? Is it enough? Should we be asking for systemic change? And so these are the kinds of questions that I believe, like, as you know, we culminate around what reparations should look like, we should be also talking about what it shouldn't look like, because a check doesn't really stretch as far as we'd like it. Like, yes, we want a check, but we also want institutional change that will uplift the Black community and bridge the racial wealth gap, and, you know, give us an equitable access to all of the, you know, all of the programs that are available out there, the, you know, social programs that are available, and education. So yeah, that's a mouthful, but basically kind of, you know, boils down where we were coming from as we jumped into this project.
I love it. I love it. Throwing it to the crew, you guys had a lot. Mike.
I mean, I just want to know what, because you brought up the whole Beyonce got snubbed. What's your favorite Beyonce album? Because I'm a Beyonce stan, so I want to know, what is your favorite Beyonce album?
You know, I'm gonna just go with the easy one and say Lemonade, because you can turn that on while you're like cleaning the apartment and like really get your steps in if you need to. Like, it has something for everyone. Like, if you're upset, you know, I feel like I put that on repeat. I actually have the vinyl of that, and it's like bright yellow, and so I love like putting it on and playing it while I'm just hanging out around the apartment. So gets a lot of play here.
I enjoyed your short film. I look forward to seeing more from you. I feel like you have a lot of creativity that a lot of people need to see. So I hope you get to create some more.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And going off of that, I have a quick question. Are you planning on making this a feature? Because I would love to see a feature of this, because it is just too funny not to be. Have you thought about feature of it?
Well, not a feature, actually. Like, we are currently pitching it as a TV show, because the idea of like a post-reparations world is so much fun to play in. It's like the perfect sandbox, because as you see in the film, certain, you know, getting reparations doesn't end racism. Getting reparations leaves a lot of questions hanging, and we know like we can just basically dive into an enormous amount of subjects in a post-reparations world, and we could talk about even more, you know, bigger ideas like defunding the police, and we can talk about what that would look like. But I think the key hook here is, you know, trying to get a show made that is going to be a true critique of capitalism, or late stage capitalism. And so that's kind of where I come from in my background. It's when we talk about reparations, of course, we live under a capitalistic society. We know the limitations to that, and also want to poke fun at it. So I am a democratic socialist, and Brody Reed and Ellington Wells share the same kind of background. And so we love tackling these political subjects through this lens, because it is carrying on kind of like the Black radical tradition. And yeah, basically, I'm just excited to get more projects like that made, because we've seen like, you know, Judas and the Black Messiah got made, and we've seen Sorry to Bother You get made, and they both have, you know, socialist undertones, and they have this great critique of, you know, what is happening, like what our past can teach us about the future and how we can move forward from that.
We were just saying that we would love to see this.
Right. We was talking about it. Yeah. We were just like, we need a series, because I mean, it was funny. Like,
it was hilarious.
I loved it.
I like tackling it through comedy. It's just so much more fun. I mean, like with this film, of course, a lot of people question, like, why would you choose comedy to do such a subject? But I think that a lot of us coming up are a little bit tired of the like struggle stories and stuff.
Yes, Lord.
Even though that is our history, like how can we heal together? And comedy seems to be like a great way to do that because there's a lot of truth in comedy. You know, any stand-up routine that you watch, a lot of it comes from like a very painful place. And so I say, why not tackle these, you know, subjects through comedy, because they are complex, but it doesn't mean that you can't actually teach something to someone through comedy. It doesn't mean that you have to make fun of something like totally like we're punching up, I think. Like we're punching at ideas and big subjects that haven't happened yet and want to kind of shape that in real life too. So I do a lot of political education around reparations as well, because I'm just like, I want people to ask for more, you know, like any kind of negotiation situation, you should always be asking for way more than you're willing to settle for. And when we stop at the check, it's like, we could get like way more than this, and we should be talking about other ways reparations can take form.
Yeah, I really love the way that you talked about the complexities of it and using humor. Like I learned, I think, a few things during this or realized that, you know, like with the character who said, you know, I'm just going to spend all this because, you know, he was like, his character almost seemed like it was a trap. Like, you know, he wasn't supposed to have. So it's like that's like a really important, because you've got people who have, you know, really, you know, been a part of the system and really done wrong by the system, and they don't. So how do they process reparations? What are they supposed to do with it? And then you've got, you know, I don't want to give too much away, but the point where someone, you know, the character, your main character is trying to like do some good and gets like in this weird situation. But then again, the person he's interacting with is another victim, and not a casualty of the system, you know. So you know I love how it was funny, but it was very, very educational. I really appreciate that.
Yes, it was educational. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, like that scene at the end, I wanted to make sure that we had something like that in the script, because originally that wasn't in the script, but there would be a underclass of people who are houseless or who are immigrants, and they wouldn't receive a check based on, you know, the current discourse happening. You know, I think a lot of people like to exclude portions of the Black community when they talk about reparations, but if you look back historically, you know, when segregation was happening, we had a lot of Caribbean immigrants in this country. Redlining, like no one could tell me that African immigrants didn't have to face redlining, you know? And so when we talk about all these crimes, you know, we have to talk about how slavery basically, it became something else even after it was abolished. Like there's a new slavery. What about all the people who are currently incarcerated? Or even in ICE detention? Like it's actually majority Black immigrants in ICE detention. So we have to talk about, you know, what is a reparative justice for all African descendants in this country, because there have been so many crimes committed against the Black community. And so, yeah, that character, the artist who wasn't an artist after all, it's kind of like, yeah. That actor actually was Biniam Bazune, and he actually has a Hulu show coming out soon where him and another person in the film as well are going to be talking about being, you know, Africans in the U.S. And so they both have like African immigrant parents. But basically, like, I wanted to just say that so you check it out in the future. But
no, I'm about to say, drop let us know what the name is, and we will check it out and we will talk about it. Like that's what we do. We would love to talk about something that gives another person an opportunity to show their creative skills and, you know, be able to support these people who are doing these different things that are, you know, in a diverse community. So the fact that you did that, I was about to put my notes because I was waiting for you to say the name of it. So I can go do what I had to do. So yeah, let us know what it is because we will watch it. Definitely.
Yeah. this is like, I mean, this is so insider, but you can find the Deadline article at this point, but I don't know if they actually named the show yet, but just keep it in mind because it's going to be awesome.
Yes.
And yeah, I think like overall, I'm just so happy with the amount of people who've been able to connect with the film and that people are taking something away from it. So, that's all a filmmaker can ask, I think, at the end of the day. So I'm happy that all of you enjoyed it and I was able to share it with some new people because it's always great to kind of hear feedback and what people are thinking about the art that we create. So yeah.
It was you did really, really good.
Yeah, I feel like you captured something that only the Boondocks would do. And I just like if you really feel that gap up, and I feel like especially like right now with people waiting on the third stimulus check. Like it's just guys, watch the movie. Like it's work.
And I'll say that by the third act, I didn't feel like you were talking down to me like they did in the third and fourth season of Boondocks. Like you already got a look.
Okay. I mean, no, like I really, a lot of people, like everyone who watches this is going to get a lot out of this. And I think the only other thing that made me feel the way this film did was like Dope. I really love Dope, and I really like this short. It's just the way you just capture so many different tropes in the Black community. I love that. I love that.
And I'm getting half a check.
Yeah, I genuinely.
My kids are biracial. That was a discussion in my family.
But yeah, I definitely enjoy in the film that you presented these protagonists as like they weren't like he understood the way that it was fucked up, but he was also kind of like still thinking unsure, and sometimes his thoughts were practical, sometimes they weren't. But he just like some still having it in his mind that this is not what this is supposed to be. And I appreciate that because I feel like a lot of times when films are made nowadays and it speaks on the Black struggle and the Black plight, they either try to paint one subsection as the ignorant and then everybody else know it all, or they turn up their nose at this concept and try to present it as this unilateral law on how we should handle these situations. And I feel like you fall into this super cool category where it's not, talking down to anyone, where it's not trying to be preachy, where it's just literally giving, a real, an almost realistic approach to how this would happen, right down to the seemingly altruistic act backfiring essentially because the dude still got down how he lived, and we would like is obviously he had it in his heart. Like, you should do something better with it. Nope, psych, I'm gonna rob you, bro. Sorry, that's how it is. And then gone off in his car with paintings he done stole.
Spoilers.
I'm about to say kill, like Jesus. Oh my God.
And that's why y'all should cut me off instead of just letting me go. Y'all just didn't stop me.
So sorry.
I was just gonna add, I appreciate hearing that because, of course, a lot of these political films do end up going down that route of telling you how to feel exactly, and I think life is a little bit more messy than that. I think that, the way we depicted it, we wanted to kind of tackle it from every angle so that you could see, how different people would react. And I think that's super real because we all would react differently. I think, no one really knows the best way to approach reparations. Even though I know what I don't want, I don't actually know the full vision of what reparations could be. And these conversations are continuously happening in our community, So, we're just basically we don't want this, but we want something else. So yeah.
So have you gotten any distribution of the short outside of Slam Dance? Are you going to be anywhere? Can people find the short anywhere else?
Yeah, we're currently working on that. So we've had some interest to distribute. So I'll just keep y'all updated because there's nothing I can really announce right now, but hoping to get it out there. Of course, we have been on the festival route for a year, and so want to be able to share even more broadly than that. So I think we'll be able to do that for people out there, because I was actually in the beginning worried about something like this hitting the internet, but then all the festivals went virtual anyway. But once something is out there, it's out there. And so, but we've gotten a lot of great feedback, and the internet trolls will just have to deal with it, I guess, once we get it out there into the world.
Well, if you need anybody to, do some ignorant cheerleading, that's us. We can do that for you.
Because I watched it twice, and I was like, okay, this is cute. Like, I would love a series. So you did a really great job. I would love to see anything else from that universe and anything that you create. So you got our support.
Series. I mean, we got to find out about the mule. We got to find out.
Right.
We got to find out about picket fences.
Yes.
That was hilarious.
I mean, if they allowed us to make a series, I would be like that person who's like, we have to make this app right now, like, so that we could all like live in this world where you can rate.
That was funny. I was hollering when that part came on. Like.
That was the thing that really was like that. I was like, yeah, we definitely need to see this expanded upon, because it was just too good.
Well, thank you. It's good to hear, and I hope to be able to make something much bigger with this too, because I think people are ready for it, and it's just a lot of fun. We just need more good TV, right? Like stories that aren't just so baseline about black storylines in history. I think I like things that take a more liberal approach. Like, I loved Watchmen, like the TV series on HBO. I just loved it because it was so cool. Even though it was talking about reparations, like, it was just so cool how they like made this entire world around it. And so I want to just see more of that. I don't know if y'all like that series, but I'm assuming probably.
We love that series.
We're gonna need you to come back so we can talk about Watchmen, like, for real.
Please. Like, we can break down Watchmen with you. That would be dope, because Watchmen was good. Like, a lot of people couldn't take Watchmen, but Watchmen was really good.
It was.
So.
Loved it.
So, I was wondering, what do you have next? What's coming up next? I know you said you got some stuff going that's like, secret squirrel stuff with the short. But I won't push about that. Hopefully, good vibes there. But what else do you have coming up down the pipeline that you're working on?
Yeah, I'm currently doing a lot of writing. I'm writing a feature right now that is essentially, I'm going to boil it down to, it's an Assata Shakur heist movie, because I think that a lot of times when we talk about the revolutionaries of the past, we talk about it in a sad way, but I think that's like one of the most triumphant stories ever told, because literally getting out of this country, going to Cuba, getting free, true freedom. So I'm thinking about doing that, because I think depicting the actual prison break would be really interesting to show, and in the style of like a heist movie would be pretty cool. But on top of that, I'm also planning on, directing a couple more shorts before I actually film a feature. But I've gotten asked to do another one coming up soon, which I can't really talk about yet. But I also have one in my back pocket that is going to be talking about our history even more, of course, with a funny spin, but I don't want to like dive in too deep, but just expect kind of more of the same, poking fun at things, but in an intentional way, so that we can, progress as a people and progress forward off of some of this pain that we've experienced. So yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. But yeah, I hope that like COINTELPRO or something doesn't come after me for this.
Nah. Nah.
because I so want to make it because, you know, to this day, like she is on, you know, she is considered like a terrorist on the watch list. Like she's like the only woman on that watch list, and there's no proof that she even did anything. So it's kind of like interesting, and also it's a story about just getting out, you know. She beat the state because she got out of prison and she got all the way to Cuba. So I think it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see that. I can't wait. I mean, her story came up during the Queen and Slim the discussions, but it was like you said, it was sad, and it was people were like, but I'm like, she sounds like a badass. Why are we like?
No,
So,
like in Queen and Slim, I
Yeah.
was very upset by the ending of that movie. I wanted to see them get out. You know what I mean? And so Asada got out. Like I want to see that on screen because I think too many times, like we don't talk about these stories in a way that is like triumphant and powerful. Like when I think about the Black Messiah, I don't actually think about Fred Hampton, even though he was one of the people that COINTELPRO targeted as such. But I think of Asada. She's the one who got out. She didn't get killed. She's out there. You know, she is someone who is untouchable, in my opinion. So, and she was labeled as like one of the people that the COINTELPRO wanted to follow as possibly being the Black Messiah. So yeah, I mean, why not tell that story? I want to tell it so badly, but someone has to give me money to make like the feature version.
Damn right. Make sure you get that coin.
People watching give her money like now.
Yes, like, if someone out there who is looking for a project, please.
Yeah,
I support it. Like I
Yes.
think it's amazing. Really do. Keep us in the loop with everything that you do because we will support it. We will talk about it. We will review it. We will put it out there for you because, like I said, watching the short, I want to see more from that, and I want to see more from you. As somebody who wants to create, you have inspired probably this whole team, and we want to see more from you. So,
yeah.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for coming and sitting with us and indulging us in our questions.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having me. I would be glad to come back anytime, and I like what y'all are doing here, so I'll be tuning in. I'm a fan now.
Let everybody know where they can find you on Twitter and also, you know, the film as well.
Yeah, you can follow me at sim_de on Twitter and at Simone Jet on Instagram. Woohoo! I don't even know my own handles. And then the film is at 16K Film on every platform, so you can check us out there. And yeah, and Slam Dance goes until the 25th. So anyone out there that still hasn't watched it, this might be your last chance to catch it in festivals. So and the tickets are pretty affordable. So check it out.
Yes.
And you can go to the slamdance.com and get a ticket. It's worth it. It's worth it. I mean,
it's worth it. Like
it's worth it. It's
Do you have a
hilarious.
MySpace?
Q.
I'm trying to
Cut
get
it out.
MySpace
Cut
page.
it out. Cut it out, Q. Cut it out. Cut it out right now. Cut it out.
Because we want these folks to follow you everywhere, and they
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Alrighty, take care.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
You know what? Let me put you up real quick. Let me talk to you. You know you.
So big take back. So the big take back is that time of the night going to the big take back.
Okay.
And let y'all know what.
Just gotta get a sip of water.
So Joe.
You thirsty?
The following scene contains language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
So y'all listen y'all asses up real quick for me because I'm about to get cut.
Okay. Wait a minute though. What was he about to do?
He asked for her MySpace.
Because I was trying to be funny and asked to get out MySpace. but Mike didn't want me to do that, so now I gotta get done.
You a shady man who live for drama, so stop playing in my face.
So actually,
Just like the rest of y'all.
what was the
If you want
MySpace
more
drama about, Mike?
shenanigans, people, please subscribe. Right there every week.
We know
That bell.
we know we started early on y'all.
Oh wow, we could do that. Oh, I didn't know we could do that.
We did start early on y'all, so we apologize. Not really, but y'all want to show up regardless.
Yeah, if we. I mean, it is what it is when we got.
It was
guests,
great.
You know.
Make sure you go buy Nubia the real one.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you watch the 16K film. Like, go buy tickets. Slam Dance is happening right now. Go buy
Slamdance.com.
tickets and support, because we had 3 creators here tonight who are amazing. So
would have been nice to ask. Would have been nice to have been asked Robin or Ella a question, but you know how they go. Y'all was just gushing in their face, and I couldn't ask them a question.
Did I or did I not say I'm throwing it to the people, to y'all?
Exactly.
Anybody got a question? Did I do
And
that?
you know what? I didn't even ask a question because you know what? I was just happy. So you know what? On punishment.
So Keith, what's up?
So anyway.
All right, big take back.
The big take back before I take back and get the guttering. Like I said I would.
Oh my goodness, stop. No.
She said she was a Persona 5 fan. Couldn't ask that because y'all was punching me in my face and knocking me out the frame.
What was you asking? I mean,
okay, no, you know what? Hold on, Q. So we're interviewing you real quick. Let me interview you real quick. So how are you feeling about the big take back so far?
I feel like y'all have done an amazing job, and let me show them the amazing job y'all have done. With the big take back? First, we got Joe. She did the Gunas on Vero, and she gave it.
He's trying to pronounce it in a different language.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that.
You know, a bad or a good joke works best when it's not explained. Y'all.
But see, if you got to explain it, you got to explain it.
Exactly. That means.
But I'm trying to make it. But I'm trying to just make it sound intentionally bad on purpose.
Okay.
Keep
it up. So someone, I did get a question DM this week about writing the reviews, and someone asked, can I make it personal? Yes, that's why I wrote this one the way I did. You can. This is about you, the fan. People, when they look for these reviews, they're gonna be like, "Well, is this something I would like?" And so, if you talk as if you're in the audience and what you see and what you like about it, that will appeal to somebody. So I wrote about the Goonies, about what I liked when I was younger and what I like now. I mean, I liked about it when I was younger that, it was not like some of those other stories out there that was babyish, that seemed really too cheesy. And I talked about, how the kids were not all rich and suburban, like some of the other adventure shows that were out in the 80s. And then, I really like Martha Plimpton's character early on. And I inadvertently just started really following her and didn't really realize it until I looked back at this film. So I talked about my personal experience. Now somebody's going to read this and be like, hey, I like Martha Plimpton. I like adventure stories for kids that don't have that baby cheesy stuff. Maybe I'll like Goonies. So, putting your personal spin on it helps. And it is also the easiest way to write about a movie. Listen, y'all, you don't have to write about the cinematic, the technical, all of that. I mean, there's other people have whole ass articles on that already.
Exactly, Joe. You don't have to be technical and point out the technical aspects of a review. So here's my review where I'm. So here's my review.
Cut me off so you can read your review. Are you serious right now?
Child, I don't understand why it's got a 2 stars and a half for the damn Power Rangers Turbo. Turbo.
Okay, go back to your Power Rangers. Let's talk about your little Power Rangers.
Let's
talk about your little review right now. Come on now.
Go ahead.
Put it up.
And I was doing a. Whoo. I'm about to
What you gonna
lay
do?
down the law.
What are you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Oh,
That,
he's laying down the law. Watch out,
number
y'all.
one, that.
What you gonna do, Dirty Dan? What are you?
Not Dirty Dan.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so what
yeah.
was I saying?
Hey,
Yeah.
hey guys.
You don't have to be highly technical. There are
And we're not in
articles
front of
about
company.
that. You really people like you want to hear about some of the same stuff you do. If they want the technical stuff, there's like 19 cajillion people that are writing about that stuff. I mean, you can bypass it. Just stuff that's personal to you, and it'll be write the review that you feel in your heart that people need to hear. The important stuff to you. Don't think about anybody else. And I guarantee you that other people will appreciate your words. So, it looks like the Simps for Mike Club is here.
And
There
oh
you
man,
go.
Mike isn't here to see the film. That's so crazy.
I just want to step in and say we had a reminder. The Milestone Universe comes out on digital February 26th.
Nice.
Yes, it oh shit.
And we got to talk about that because I hate that they're not doing. Are they not going to do like physical books?
Probably.
Not-
Is that what it is?
They pushed the physical stuff to god dang, August, July, something like
Now,
that.
Mike, why
See,
did
that
you
we gotta talk. We gotta talk about that next time because I'm feeling something about that. But anyway, let's go to this funky little Power Rangers review. Go ahead.
Please, before he has a coronary.
Who has a coordinate? What?
A coronary. I don't know what that is, but it sounds.
Come on, time. We run out of time.
We're not even at the hour mark yet.
Boy.
So now I'm going to go extra slow and go to Avias instead.
Okay, so Avia.
So here's Avias.
Where am I putting this? Why am I in the middle of it?
Here's Avia's Angels in Outfield review. Would you like to go over it?
Yeah, what did you like
sure.
about this movie? It's 4 stars. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, because I rewatched it 2 days ago, and when I was looking up everybody else, when I was just looking at other reviews about it, people, you either really like it or you hate it. I'm like, well, I love it because to me, it's through the perspective of a child's. It's through a child's perspective about spirituality, believing in angels and things like that, and someone who, is very spiritual in that way. I really, I felt a connection to it, even when I was little, and I want to talk about that. And then also, just it was fun. Like it wasn't meant to be like just some, it wasn't meant to be a perfect film. It did everything it was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It did everything it was supposed to do. Like it was a paint by number, and that's pretty much what I wrote about in my.
Well, and you bring up a good point. Sometimes the paint by number story that is doing what the story needs to do and nothing more. It's not making a stand. It's not taking, it's not saving the world or changing, politics or whatever. Sometimes those films are the films we need. So, it's, I've seen a trend in criticism where when you talk about something as cookie cutter or paint by numbers or, it's negative, and it shouldn't be. Sometimes when I want, a rom-com, I want to know that it's not going to have anything extra, coming at it that I've got to really think about because I go to those movies to turn my brain off. I mean, I do. And so, or sometimes, like this one, you talked about how it's like, simple from a kid's point of view. Sometimes you just want something simple. Something like
And as an adult looking back on a kid's movie that I loved in the 90s, like it's something just clicked. Like that's why I like this movie. Like that's why it's a connection. And I'm like, why are people hating it so much? Like I love this movie, and that's why I wanted to make sure people knew my stance that this isn't a bad movie. Like it's really not. And I just wanted to get people to know. But everyone is entitled to their own opinions. But I just want to let them know that it's definitely one of my childhood favorites for sure.
that's what I felt about Goonies. Going back to it, it's like I knew I always liked this movie, but why? And that's when that's when it clicked. Okay, all the little adventure films were like super over the top or really adult, and if they had kids in it, or the kids were like little rich kids, and who really didn't live anywhere else. I mean, yeah, the kids in this one are kind of you look at the big house that the main character lived in, but still they're like working class people that I can identify with. I think that people that I knew, my uncles and people I can identify with. So yeah, and then like just having the girl who wasn't the girly girl, the fragile damsel in distress. I loved that as a kid. Didn't realize it till I got older. So yeah, that was another reason why I wanted people to kind of go back and look at a childhood film, because it's really fun to discover why you liked it all this time. So
Yep. We're gonna go to one more review, and that will be Keys, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
So,
can you tell us about this one? Oh, 5 stars.
I decided on this one because it seemed like it got so much crap over the one Johnny Depp did, and I'm over here like, why? Like Gene Wilder killed it. Like he did so good as Willy Wonka, and like I said in my review, when you compare it to the one in 2006, the 2006 one had that really corny, weird vibe all around. You look at the one in 1971, it's more so whimsical. And it fits, even though it doesn't fit the book, it still fits the book. But, however, one thing will always remain the same. It's fuck Grandpa Joe. Because, boy, how all of a sudden you know how to walk? How do you all of a sudden know how to walk when where's the freaking golden ticket?
Girl.
No.
You got everybody in the family struggling. It took a golden to jump up out of that bed.
You did a freaking cartwheel out that bed.
If Charlie would have came back with nothing, Grandpa Joe would have been dead. I think winning the factory saved the Grandpa, because Grandpa would have been like, no, you ain't getting your ass back in that bed again. You better get out and get a job. We're starving up in here.
Back in there ever again. And everybody in that family struggling, and this whole time you can walk. Boy,
grown ass man. So yeah, I just and you make a really good you have a really good point in comparing to the Johnny Depp version, because that was creepy. I thought they meant for it to be a horror movie at first.
I'm not even gonna sit up here and lie to you. If that happened in real life, somebody would got a lawsuit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think a couple of my girls were scared of it. So yeah, and I never knew why the Gene Wilder one. I thought the Gene Wilder one was better until I started hearing people saying that. Oh yeah, they like the Johnny Depp version better. I was like, have you seen it though?
Like, why? Oh, there's a comment. Morgan has said the real reason Tim Burton redirected the remake. Well, that makes sense though.
It was probably meant to be a horror movie, but okay, so that's fine.
Horrifying. Okay.
But that's not what the story was supposed to be, though.
Mike, if you don't get your hind parts in here.
I thought Tim Burton only wanted to direct the Johnny Depp version because he could have kept the black folks out of it, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, Joe, if you would like to go into what we're going to be doing for
I'm waiting to look at a Power Rangers review. So if you put that up.
Well, I mean, the streets would love to see it.
Theodore J. Jarvis Johnson or T.
No.
I want to know why.
Why did you give it?
I wasn't even putting it up there for the actual review. I was doing it for a joke to be funny, because she said don't have the technical, and my review is like literally 80% technical aspects of it. But
is that why you didn't use mine?
Well, I was trying to showcase Keys because Key didn't show hers last week, and I wanted people to see what she said.
Know. That was the joke. We established not to explain the joke.
Y'all just
Yes.
This is
So
bad.
basically,
But not in front of the company.
That last comment right there. Yes, we'll see. You know, every opinion.
Dawn.
Dawn.
They do suck. They suck big.
What?
They
They
suck.
are.
Yes, they do.
Oh no.
So Don has been put in time out for 5 minutes. And
No, I don't. Well, y'all don't pay attention if you think I like Power Rangers by now. I do not.
You didn't even.
So we doing a Power Rangers month? Is that what I'm hearing?
Okay, who kicked my
Don,
husband out
not
of
you
the
block Don, our biggest supporter. Yeah, I'm back. Not you block Don, our biggest supporter. Who does that? I'm blocking him right now. Unblock him.
Who unblock him?
Unblock him right now.
That's disrespectful.
About to get.
You better unblock him right
All right,
now.
moderators.
I can't. That, and he gonna have to wait for 5 minutes. Still love you, Don.
Rada.
Still love you, Don.
This you go out for 5 minutes. You go out.
Punishment.
You go out for.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Tyra says rada.
Joe, take us out.
Okay, so for the big take back this week, we are moving ahead, and this week we want to tell show HBO Max how big of a support that we could potentially give the movie, right? So I want y'all to go to HBO Max, to their archives, to their gallery. That's where I found Goonies. I want you to go and find a movie from the HBO Max archive, and I want you to review it there. Give it. I think they have a thumbs up, thumbs down system. So make sure you review it there, but then also go to your Vero or Letterboxd or Rotten Tomatoes or wherever you're doing your reviews at. Go ahead and put something out there too, but make sure that you go to HBO Max. Into they have an extensive archive, y'all. They have so many movies. Pick one. It could be one that came out this week, or it could be one that's that came out like 1985, like the Goonies did. So, until next week, that's what you're doing. You can do more than one, but I'm only requiring one. So go to the HBO Max archive and start watching some movies and rating them. Back to you. Any moment.
Awesome. This was a wonderful episode, wasn't it? Wasn't it a great episode?
It really was.
Great episode.
Amazing.
What's next on the docket?
Oh, Tyra was saying, why was Q put in the corner? Because
Q don't know how to, Q don't know how to. No, you still 5 minutes. It's only been a minute and a half.
Let that man back in the house.
No, not coming back.
It's too cold.
I don't care.
Outside.
I'm about to go through
we
an
got
ice
a blizzard
storm.
in Texas.
I'm about to go through an ice storm. I don't care.
I'm snowed in. Let the man.
Period, Mike. It's about to be 8 feet of snow here.
You don't take out one of I and number one. I said no.
So yeah.
So ringleader Aaron is back. So
yes,
everyone.
Aaron, take it away.
So yeah, that was a fun night. Fun night of fun stuff, and fun night of cool things that happened. I'm so glad.
Every time.
I'm so glad.
I'm so glad Robin and Elle came onto the show. They were awesome.
Absolutely.
Nubia, both Nubias, because we didn't really get into her future, what she was doing in Future State, which is awesome as well. So really, definitely pick up on that, as well as Simone. She was awesome as well. Please win $16,000.
Joe got something to say. Hurry it up.
I'm trying to toss it to Joe by just getting this out the way. I'm not going to take y'all's time. I promise you I'm not. I'm just going to say what I
says that a lot.
I'm just trying to, and then I'm going to toss it to Joe because I see her. I'm just trying to say what I got to say and give it straight to her. I ain't said a lot tonight. I'm just saying. And big take back, episode 3, The Phantom Menace. Talk about the movies you dislike. Joe, go ahead and bless these folks with what they got to say.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay. So so the next someone asked what's next. Y'all know the Mortal Kombat trailer's coming out, right? Right. Well,
Yeah,
come back
buddy.
here. Some of us are going to be, or some of them are going to be reviewing the trailer. I'm going to be tied up, but come in, be in the comments, talk about the Mortal Kombat trailer. We've got something planned for the Mortal Kombat movie. Fingers
send
crossed that
positive vibes.
our
It
plan
goes
goes
through.
through. Send good vibes, our way that this happens. But before that movie comes, we are going to continue our Kong versus Zilla matchup, and we're going to have a MonsterVerse watch along. We're going to watch all the movies, and that's going to be next month. So, and then
We're doing
of
it
course, we're not going to forget about. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was saying we're going to be doing it on every Friday, I believe.
Yes.
Except when this Justice League comes out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to be doing it leading up to the Godzilla versus Kong. So
Right.
make sure you guys watch with us, because it'll be ghetto as hell in here, but that's our show.
I mean,
that's our show.
They know how we are at this point. If not, then okay, it'll be all right for them. But we're gonna kick it off with Godzilla, the 2014 Godzilla on March 5th, and then Kong Skull Island on March 12th, and then Godzilla King of the Monsters on the 26th. So, and then the 31st is the premiere. Of course, we're skipping a week. And we're skipping the week because Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out. Of course, we're gonna be talking about that that week. So we're just leaving that just kind of wide open. So we're come do the watch along with us. I haven't seen Godzilla King of the Monsters. I totally missed that one. I don't know how.
I've never seen any of them all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces. So this is going to be a first time event for myself.
Yeah. So I think that will be great for us. And then we're going to have more guests next week. We're going to have a guest writer who writes comic book. He kind of adapts he's adapted the Avengers, a lot of the Marvel characters, and a lot of the DC characters for kids books. Like even the little golden books he's written.
I used to love those as a kid.
Yeah, I know they still do, and I didn't. You know what? It wasn't until I became friends with Ari Kaplan, is who he is. That's when he was like, "Yeah, I wrote this book," and I'm like, "They're still making golden books,
right?"
Yeah, and they are, and they're making golden books that have lessons from Loki and Thor and Doctor Strange and so yeah. Look those up. And he also does the Lego Star Wars. He has a series out with the Lego Star Wars books. He's a comedic writer, and his latest book out is features. It's called Frankie and the Dragon, and it's based off of his daughter. He wanted her to have his daughter's black. She's biracial, and he wanted her to have some strong black characters to look up to. So he made one. For her, and his book is coming out. I think it's coming out next month. This month. We'll talk about it next week. But he's going to be on next week. Yeah, and stay tuned for more guests and more 28 Days of Black History, and that's it. You want me to start singing? Hello?
Please.
Oh my God. Okay. So, Avia, what's up?
Yes.
Right, Don. Cute. I was playing there. Okay, I guess. Exactly.
Okay. So are we okay? Where is
he?
Yeah.
He's been talking. We still can't hear anything.
Like that?
We can wrap it up. It's all good. Key already done changed her outfit already in between shots, so she was ready to wrap it up anyway. So
Yeah, we just had a wardrobe change. Yeah.
Real quick before we do wrap up, I just want to say it's crazy how Dawn got kicked out.
Exactly.
But when your little girlfriend in there said you got the wrong Power Rangers movie,
I didn't see it. Did y'all ever take into
But did you have to kick Don out? Did you have to kick Don out? That's all I want to know.
it was right after Dawn's comment.
Don, you are
It was a
amazing.
really
We
fun
love
night.
you.
Don is amazing. All of y'all are so great.
I'm so sorry y'all put up with us.
So
I'm sorry y'all put up with us.
it was a great night, guys.
So everybody tell these folks where you all from so we can get out their face.
You get out their face.
I will once we say everybody where everybody from. I'm included in that. You already didn't piss
You
them
start
off.
us off.
This is so ignorant.
Lord.
Per usual.
This is ignorant. All
Who
right,
put
so
him out? Joe, where can we find you?
Okay, you can find me at Jonita L. Davis on all platforms. Please check out my Black Cape Media YouTube channel. I just put up some great videos. I've been on like a little hot streak, I think, here lately. I had the Batwoman interviews that I put up, and then today, this morning, I got to interview somebody from WandaVision. And that video is going to be coming up. And also, I sat down with Cherry from Punky Brewster, the new reboot. And can't wait to show that to you guys. So I have to wait till Monday to drop that one. So keep an eye on my Black Cape Media YouTube channel. Like and subscribe there. Like and subscribe here, y'all. We hit over 200 subscribers in just the past few weeks. So really happy that y'all are joining along and watching us and everything. So stay tuned tomorrow night for the mess. We are going to be talking WandaVision and a host of other things. So and then on Friday, Bish what? Yeah.
Saturday.
Okay. Well,
Saturday.
Key will tell you.
Saturday.
Okay. Go to Key now.
Hi, I'm Key. So you can find me on every single platform there is at Key Levon. I had to change it due to recent circumstances, but you can also find me on here and also catch Bitch What Saturday, where we're going to be talking about how is it that Black mothers cannot do anything without somehow being tossed in their jail. But yet white moms can damn near kill their kid and they just get a fine. I don't understand it. But yeah, that's what we got in store. And also catch me with my other co-host, Kwamon Star G, Kwamani Quay, the most worrisome person on the show. Where it be Q and K talk wrestling, where we just gonna be talking it up. So see you there.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Avian. You can find me on all social platforms at Avian Knighton. Catch me, Key, and Joe on Bitch What on Saturday. Also, Aaron and I are going to have another episode of the Unentitled ANA show coming real soon, so stay tuned for that. And also, I just published my first article about blackface on our MulDiversity medium, so check that out as well.
Aaron.
As per usual, I am Aaron Michael. Aaron V. Michael, my bad. You can find me on all social media platforms at Aaron_Michael_J. You can find me on Comic Book Debate, where I just dropped a new article, The Miseducation of Nubia, where I go through the history and possible future of her character. You can find me, like with Avia, like Avia said, on the Untitled ANA show. You can find me with Mike on Lovecraft and Back. We're, of course, the Lovecraft Boys. And you can also find me not dealing with a dog at the moment another time.
Wait, I'm a little mad because Joe over there being a little secretive and everything about tomorrow's episode of The Mess, but we are interviewing, and it's very special to me because I watch Drag Race. I do drag, so I'm super excited because right now during Slam Dance, Kasha Davis has a documentary about her life before, during, and after Drag Race, and we get to interview her. She will be on our show tomorrow during The Mess. So come on and talk with us tomorrow. I am so excited because I've watched the documentary. Joe has watched the doc, and I can't wait for people to actually see this doc because a lot of people don't get to see the outside and the inside of people who do drag and actually, go through life. It's a story behind drag. It's an art form. It's so many different things besides just putting on makeup and a wig and getting out on stage. So please come out tomorrow and hang out with us as we interview Kasha Davis and also the writer and director for the whole thing. So I'm super excited. Yes, you can catch me on Two Lovecraft and Bat. And yeah, come back next Wednesday and see us on MulDiversity. Follow us on Twitter. Anybody else?
That's about it.
You didn't tell us where he's from.
Contractually, I
Split the man.
Yeah, just
brother.
in the house.
I just remember my contractual obligations to my brother, where I am legally supposed to say you can find us on Into the Quniverse every Sunday on Facebook Live, but that's about it.
Niggas.
All right. Hey, everybody, have a great night. Thank you for tuning in.